Hey, greetings. Welcome to the Brain Age channel. And today we're going to talk about sex and the brain. Though it's going to be probably a big disappointment because I'm not going to talk about, basically what I lured you to listen about. We're actually going to talk about parallels between brain gauge training and physical training. And for those of you who don't know, I sort of do have a pretty significant background in competitive athletics. And I've noticed there's huge gaps between physical training and brain training methods. But anyway, really what I want to do is take you through what I went through as an athlete. And at a very young age, I was actually 13, and I was just starting to get really serious about swimming. Uh, I was at a swim team banquet, and the coach had invited the local university coach, who was kind of a nut job, but it's 1971, and he stood up and shocked all the parents by saying, what makes a good swimmer, and what really makes a good swimmer is sex. And by that, what he meant was that the components that you needed to be, that you needed for superior performance in swimming, and actually for a whole lot of different sports, is strength, endurance, and flexibility. And just about everything falls into that category. And it's pretty clear how you train for each. And there's really some significant parallels between physical training and brain training. Now, most of the brain training techniques that are out there have been developed by academics and people that have studied the brain, but basically they try to do games that will make you faster, or games that make you have better attention or something like that. But by and large, we've gotten where we've gotten we're light years ahead in physical training techniques than we are in brain training techniques. And that'll be the subject of another talk later. But right now I just want to talk about what are these parallels in strength, endurance, and flexibility. What am I talking about? So, let's go on to the next slide. And the next slide is, let's talk about strength. Strength, just think of it as speed. What is your reaction time? And that's an important fundamental of information processing. Now, if you've been paying attention to the brain gauge or using the brain gauge as a training tool, this is the brain gauge exercise platform. This is what it looks like. And so normally when you do the brain gauge assessment, you go through these tests individually, and it just takes you one through another, and then it takes you back to the beginning, and you basically just have a nice uh, analysis app that looks at your data. This allows you to train at different levels, and you can immediately go straight to whatever level that you want to, and click on that level and click on that test, and then you work out at that test. But strength, you think of what is the parallel to physical strength, and that is speed, raw speed, how fast you are. And you can get faster with speed drills. That's something we've known for decades. And the reason we know it is because just about every competitive athlete does speed drills. Um, basically, like if you're a swimmer, you don't get faster getting off the block by diving in, getting out, getting back on the block, diving in, getting out. You do a speed drill, such as you do with the brain gauge. And so the difference is the brain gauge gives you instant feedback and is actually accurate. That's a whole nother topic. And you can see all the talks on reaction time if you want to find out more about that. But speed, promotes healthy myelin, healthy or lack of degradation of myelin. And this is a really important thing. So we'll talk about that later. But right now, let's talk about what is the next thing. So the next thing you want to do is like, how do you get faster? And you say, okay, let's say, you can get all the way to level 5 and you have a little trouble with level 5. Then you go to level 4 and you just practice that over and over and over again, and do it maybe 5, 6, 10 minutes a day. That's probably all you need to do to improve your speed. Or even, I would say 20 minutes twice a week would probably make you really, really faster. I mean, if you want to be one of the best. But, a lot of people just want to be healthy. They don't want to be the best. They want to do the equivalent of, say, walking a couple of miles every other day. But let's go on to the next one. What about endurance? Endurance you think of as sustained attention. So how do you attend? How do you get better at focusing? And actually doing all of the any of these tests will help you with your attention. But in terms of can you attend for 5 seconds? Can you attend for 30 seconds? Can you attend something for 30 minutes? That's kind of the question. How long can you pay attention to something? And so one way to practice that is simply to, do a lot of these tests over and over. And you can actually combine that with a little bit with flexibility. So the flexibility is your ability to switch task and or multitask. So, one way you could actually improve your endurance, improve your attention is to do one of these tasks or several of these tasks over and over and over again. But I know that sounds boring, but if you really want to multitask, not just by doing the multitask option, you can say, let's say like I said, you have a little bit of trouble with level 5. You can get level 4 with no problem. But let's see, I'll bet you can probably do level 3 all the way across while you're streaming a video or while you're attending a meeting. That's kind of what I do. While I'm attending a Zoom meeting and I'm sort of just got to be there, I just go ahead and do the brain gauge, and I test all the time. Now, that's the advantage of having your screen turned off. But, you guys can do whatever you want. But if you really want to get really, really fast and really good at truly multitasking, you can train at some of these things and just keep switching between tasks all the way across while you're streaming a video or something else, and then sort of see how much can you pay attention to one thing and still do the test. So anyway, that's just a few parallels I'll be talking about more later. So anyway, if hope you got something out of it. And if you don't have brain training yet on your brain gauge system and you would like to, there's no extra cost. Just send that request to the support@corticalmetrics.com. And of course, make sure and identify yourself. And if you have any other questions that aren't answered on the YouTube channel, on the Brain Gauge YouTube channel, please send them to me. I am info@corticalmetrics.com. And thanks for watching.